Oh, we got a good game in store for you today. And I have the lineup. Let's talk about what Hal said last night, too. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for everybody joining me on the live stream last night. The Yankees did win, so it's a good moment to celebrate. The entire outfield, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Alex Verdugo all went deep, which is fantastic. And Yankees won 7-3. We had some pretty solid pitching from Nestor Cortez and some pretty solid bullpenning as well. For the most part. But the Yankees won after 2 consecutive wins from the Mariners. But today, Luis versus Luis Hill versus Luis Castillo in a premier afternoon game. Okay, and this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. This is an opportunity for the Yankees to split the series, and hopefully go live after the game, or at the very least tonight. But we talked about something last night, and for those that weren't on, I want to get your take on this, okay? And by the way, if you like just honest, straight up Yankee talk, whether it's good, whether it's bad, okay? I don't do talking points and propaganda here, okay? Don't do it. Do the facts, whether they're good or bad. And unfortunately, we live in a universe where talking points and narratives and propaganda seem to be more absorbed and more welcome than facts, which aren't the sexiest things in the world. But that's the reality, okay? And again, I understand people are entitled to their opinions, no doubt about it. But at the very least, if we're going to come here, then let's base our opinions on reality and at least good information, accurate information. That way it elevates everybody's thinking, elevates the conversation for all of us. This is why I say this. This is why I want you to subscribe to the channel, okay? If you like this type of stuff, even basic Yankee talk, okay? And I tell you like it is both sides, which is what Hal did last night. Okay, and the week before. And we'll get into that too. By the way, if you do subscribe, hit the notification too. And I thank you so much for it. We're knocking on the door of 21,000 subs, and your support's greatly appreciated. But you'll know exactly when I go live. You can join the party as well. We do open panels. We do all kinds of stuff. Okay, and we do a lot of Yankees talk. But last week, Hal came out and publicly expressed, which is out of character for him, publicly expressed their desire to re-sign Juan Soto. Nothing we don't already know. Cashman put in almost 2 years of work to get Juan Soto here. That's a fact, okay? And Hal expressed his desire to bring Soto back. Great, okay? So he told the fans what they wanted to hear. Facts. Yesterday, he was talking to reporters at the owners' meetings up in Midtown Manhattan, and he expressed, the communicatory part about the payroll. And the payroll as it stands, $300+ million, is unsustainable in the long term. That's also a fact. We already know this. He said this about 20 times. Okay. And the fact is also that they have about $100 million coming off the books. Okay. Guys like Clay Holmes, that are pending free agents. Clay Holmes, Anthony Rizzo, got an option, but still pending free agent. Gleyber Torres, Alex Verdugo, even Juan Soto. Okay. And other folks as well. Nestor Cortez, Johnny Loizaga, Tommy Kahnle. It adds up. Okay, and you might see 1 or 2 of those guys back. Obviously, priority number 1 is to bring Juan Soto back. But if the payroll is at 2, let's just say, well, let's talk about where the payroll stands now, $307 million. Okay, and there was talk about yesterday either, you talk like your dad one week and then you talk like Hal the next week. He's not his dad. Period. Okay, they're different people. But just like his dad spoiled us as fans, Hal spoiled us as fans too. We wanted Juan Soto. He's here. We wanted Gerrit Cole. He's here. Right? Stay with me here. So, and we also, fans have been asking for them to do exactly what he said yesterday. They want to bring in an influx of young players, young controllable players, right? Guys like Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones and Will Warren, Clayton Beeter, and some of these other folks that are moving up through the system at a rapid rate, who are highly touted prospects. And the Yankees revamped their entire scouting and draft system and player development system in 2018, after 2018. So they're in a position to do this now, where they weren't before. So He's not telling us anything we don't already know. Okay, but for some reason, people are upset about either the timing of it, why he said it, or the fact that he's not giving us the talking points like his dad, and so on and so forth. And the fact is, okay, if we're going to use other people's talking points as our narratives or other people's narratives as our talking points and completely ignore the facts, then let's stop calling ourselves real. Let's stop saying we're being real people because we're not. Okay, here's some basic facts. Okay, we talked about the revenues, right? The 600 plus million in revenues. Okay, true, but revenues is not profits. And then we have to factor in a couple of things like the payroll. So 307 million is over 370 now with the luxury tax that they have to pay because they're over the Cohen threshold. So you take the 370 away from 670, they're down to 300 now. Just like that. Then you take the 100 plus million in revenue sharing that they give every year. 200 now. You follow me? This is basic math, whether people agree with it or not, whether people like it or not. This is the numbers don't lie. Okay. And then you have the self-financing of the stadium. Okay, yes, they're getting 25 million a year from Star Insurance. Next 10 years, so you can add that up. Okay, cool. That's offset by the self-financing of the stadium, which is more than that. Okay. Then we've got operating costs to pay everybody, right? And a bunch of other things that they have. We just chopped off over 2/3 of that $600 million talking point by using basic math. Okay, and it's important to point this out because so many people go with this narrative and completely ignore that stuff to try to paint either a talking point or this assumption that Hal's doing nothing, that Cashman's doing nothing, which is the furthest thing from the truth as possible. Okay, Hal we have known is cryptic, right? He's not going to tell you what you want to hear all the time. What owner does? But the fact is, he's the one that's got to worry about finances and all this other stuff. Where we don't. We don't know everything that Hal knows. So the fact that we're claiming to be speaking for all the fans is completely inaccurate and disingenuous. Okay, we don't speak for all the fans. Not everybody agrees with you, just like not everybody agrees with me, and that's okay. There's a lot of different points of view, but at the very least, let's be factual about it. Let's talk about the things that matter, that are included here, right? That are part of the equation, because it creates a completely different story. And it's important to do that instead of just railroading Hal, railroading Cashman, and eventually railroading Aaron Boone, and so on and so forth, right? And again, doesn't mean people can't have opinions. People are well entitled to their opinions, and fans have a vast difference of opinions. Cool. That's what makes the Yankee fan community so broad, right? And so diverse. But at least if you're going to come here, I want to make sure you're getting good information that goes along with it. Okay. So, and I hope you can appreciate that. I'm not forcing you to agree with me, but I'm also not going to tell you you're delusional and you're not a real fan if you don't agree with me. Okay. So this is what happened yesterday. Okay, Hal said some things that fans wanted to hear last week. He said some things that fans didn't want to hear this week. It's just the nature of the beast. That's what owners do. And there's not a single owner in baseball that operates in the red right now. They get revenue sharing, and yeah, they make profits. Of course they do. They make money hand over foot. But that said, they have expenses hand over foot too, which makes the money thing look a little bit differently once you factor that in. And all this stuff is a fact. This is basic economics and basic math. Okay, I'm not telling you anything that's not true. I might be saying some stuff you don't want to hear. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, but this is the basic situation, the basic facts. Okay, now let's get to the more enjoyable part of the day. Today's lineup. Okay, we got Anthony Volpe leading off at shortstop. Juan Soto batting second and right field. Aaron Judge batting third and center. Alex Verdugo cleaning up in left field. 2, 3, and 4 yesterday. All went deep. Giancarlo Stanton batting fifth at DH. Anthony Rizzo batting sixth. First base. Gleyber Torres batting seventh at second base. Oswaldo Cabrera batting eighth at third base. And at the dish, Jose Trevino batting ninth. And Luis Hills on the mound. He's been pitching fantastic. One of the best pitchers that we've had, not named Gerrit Cole. And I know there were worries about pitch innings and innings limits and so on and so forth. Matt Blake said himself they don't have a specific innings limit on Luis Hill. Okay, yes, he's coming off Tommy John. Yes, they're going to be conscious of that. But this is also why they have guys in long relief and some other folks. Okay, to protect the starters, to protect the relievers. And again, once Gerrit Cole comes back, it's going to take a load off a lot of the other starters as well, who have done a fantastic job while Gerrit Cole works his way back from rehab. And we're really hoping to see him real soon. Okay, but again, that's the lineup. Okay, let's take it to the Let's take it to the Mariners at the very least sweep this series before we go out west and play the Giants and the Padres and the Angels and everybody else. The Padres, we got to face Yu Darvish, Dylan Cease, and Joe Musgrove. Those three we got to face in San Diego. That's going to be a bear. That's going to be an absolute bear. But you let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think about what I said, okay? About what Hal said and about what he didn't say. Okay? That's straight up fact right there. Those are straight up real. Okay? Let's get into it. Again, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, totally okay. I'm not going to ever say you're not a real fan because you disagree with me. Okay? And I'm not going to assume I speak for all fans either because I don't. Go Yankees.